Good day, everyone, and I want to talk about Chakra Hologram 4, a course I've got coming up, and I wanted to explain a little bit what you can expect in it. It was the first Chakra Hologram for a long, long time, and it has some interesting ideas in there. First of all, I wanted to look at chakra physiology because in previous chakra holograms, that is Chakra Hologram 1 and 2 and the Celestial, what we have there is a transductional hologram which looks at the structure of the chakras. And so when you do a hologram, a transductional hologram on chakras, you're looking at which layer and which sublayer, if it's the yin and yang aspect, but it's about the structure of the chakra. But we didn't have the so-called can opener hologram, which is to do with physiology. So the first thing you get is all these physiology balances, which are about the 7 major chakras and balancing the can openers and transductional holograms and the physiology and in-depth physiology about the chakras. And so basically this balance is a more detailed version of the level 1 balance. The other thing we'll be looking at is samskaras, and this is pretty interesting because at the time when I was writing this course, I was came across this stuff from Samskaras by Stephen Walensky, and he had these ideas. And when after I visited him, I went to Germany and I was working with a client there, and this balance formed. So just to explain how it works is the samskaras are like what the Tibetans and the Hindus would say, it's what drives reincarnation. But what you see is that you have this pranic flow, and the samskara is like the original imbalance. It's the kind of core thing that's driving your rebirth, or it's your lifelong issue. And as this pranic flow comes through it, if you have a samskara, it obviously interferes with that, and you have stress in the pranic flow. Then that'll come down from there. You will generate archetypes. So the samskaras is the original imbalance. It's at the point of duality where you've got the individual or the soul and the absolute are separate, are two. And so in the enlightened state, there is one. You are no different, and you understand, or you don't understand, you experience the oneness. Now, from the samskaras, these have to manifest in a certain way, and they manifest as archetypes. So archetypes are patterns of behavior that then appear in like your everyday life. So, for example, my famous archetype was the wounded healer. So I keep doing patterns of behavior or finding myself in situations where I could be the wounded healer. And from the archetype, you're driven, you get your thoughts and emotions. And these are your thought process and emotional, or your mental and astral levels. And these can either be conscious, like you're actually consciously aware of it. They can be subconscious, that is, you're consciously aware of it, but you don't know why. And the unconscious is you're not even aware of you being emotional, and certainly you don't know why. And then this manifests into the anatomy and physiology. And so this flow, if you look at it, the archetypes are on the Buddhic plane. The samskara is the monadic plane, and the thoughts are mental plane, and emotions are the astral plane. And so the atmic is the actual force. So prana is atmic, and as it comes down through and all the way picking up stresses, then it manifests into your anatomy and physiology. So the samskara balance is about using certain mudras and in the crown chakra to help de-stress or help even understand what your samskara is. And so we'll go looking into that, and because there's lots of different elements to that. Also, what we have is something pretty cool, I reckon. And this is what I call pranacules. And so what is a pranacule? A pranacule is a pranic molecule. It's a word I made up. And so what happens is when you have pranacules, you have, like, in the pranic matter on different planes, whether it could be etheric, astral, mental, buddhic, atmic, monadic, etc. What happens is that in there you have pranic molecules that are made up of the matter of that plane. And so I shortened the word pranic molecule to pranacule. And we even managed to translate it into German and Russian and Spanish as well. So, yeah, so that's kind of fun. And so the idea is to use etheric formatting, and this came from a friend of Charles, where so instead of holding, say, organ mode, you would actually hold organ mode, but have your fifth finger and thumb a certain distance apart. And so it's, I call that etheric formatting. So it's etheric finger modes, etheric circuit localization of acupoints. And so then we can start formatting molecules on the different planes. So then we have, you know, like there could be mineral pranacules, fatty acid pranacules, etc., you know, like looking at what kind of molecules we have on the physical, they would be a reflection of the ones that we have on the pranic levels. So that's kind of interesting. Another topic we'll be looking at is chakra activation. So kinesiology generally is a stress management tool. And so what we do is we de-stress things. So for example, we might, if we're balancing the base chakra, we will de-stress the base chakra and hopefully it start activating, or the sacral chakra. And what happened to me is once I met a lady and long time ago, and I had my sacral chakra extremely activated, but it wasn't reciprocal. And what fascinated me about it is that how activated my solar plexus, my sacral chakra, that was for it, my sacral chakra was. And then I started thinking about activation of chakras, and this is something that should happen, and we can't do it with kinesiology. All we can take out is stress, and hopefully find the client finds a new equilibrium. So with the chakra activation balance, we're going to actually balance the pathways to activating a chakra, and there's a special one for activation of the sacral chakra in a sexual context with pheromones, because what I figured is the person's pheromones activated my sacral chakra. And there's a few other things as well we will look at, as you know, there's an internal meridian hologram, etc. And so these are the topics that you'll find in Chakra Hologram 4, and I hope that those of you who want to come will, and we'll have a really good time with that. And also with the activation balance, that I did one with the different forms of lying as well, and just a general activation balance as well. So see you all later.